Part 30. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 291. Afterwards, Han Xuan knelt down directly in front of Li Bai without any hesitation or caring about face, and said fearfully, "Sir, please spare my life. When I came to all the worlds, I never did anything to harm the creatures here. I use my first path as a guarantee." Han Shui said hesitantly, always lowering her head, not daring to look into Li Bai's eyes, because she was afraid that with one look, she would fall into an abyss of eternal destruction. After a long time, Li Bai said lightly, "Get up, if I really want to kill you, I don't have to wait until now." Hearing these words, Han Shui finally let go of her hanging heart. If she was granted amnesty, at least she would be spared her life. "Thank you, sir, for sparing my life." Han Shui stood up, touched her red knees, and said respectfully, "What's your real name?" "Sir, my real name is Han Shui." "I'm talking about your predecessor." Li Bai said slowly. "My predecessor was Empress Hangxiu. Which area are you from?" Immediately, Li Bai asked Han Shui. "Young master, to be honest, I come from the imperial clan of the End, the Han family above the End." Han Shui said immediately. "The End? Oh, I have a bit of an impression. It's a pretty good world of origin." Li Bai said lightly. In fact, areas like the heavens and the worlds, which are composed of countless worlds, are collectively called the origin world. Because they are the most primitive region, that is, the primitive region that was born together with those who had innate origins. For example, Han Shui mentioned the final realm, the disordered realm, the outer world of the sky, the netherworld, and the eternal land is also considered one, but it is smaller. The outermost parts of these regions all have the laws of origin. Blessings. It's just that all the worlds are special. "Sir, do you know the End world?" Han Shui was stunned for a moment and asked slowly. "Well, I remember that when I was traveling, I passed by the End world. My strength was pretty good. Although it was not as good as the top origin world like Discord, it was similar to the world. Li Bai said slowly. Hearing these words, Han Shui's heart seemed to be crushed by something. Is this the strength of the controller? He can travel to all the worlds of origin at will. "Sir, I would like to ask you, are you the controller of all heavens and realms?" After struggling for a long time, Han Shui asked this question. "Controller? I'm not the one in control." Li Bai shook his head and said. Hearing this sentence, Han Shui was stunned. How could such an awesome person not be the controller of all heavens and realms, unless... "Sir, I'm not talking about realm." "Of course I know. Stop talking about this, I am very curious, why do you, a forerunner of the End, appear in all the heavens and the upper realms of eternity?" Li Bai changed the subject and asked slowly. Hearing this, a touch of sadness and loneliness appeared on Han Shui's face. "Sir, you don't know something. It's because I refused a marriage that I was hunted down by the big guys in the End world. Not only that, this marriage has also affected my family, most importantly my parents. Oh, to be able to hunt down you, a forerunner, to this extent, it seems that the other party is not that simple." Li Bai said lightly. "Yes, sir, the other family has a creator, that's why it's like this. And when I was escaping, I used all my strength to open up an unstable space-time rift that spanned countless areas. When I woke up, I was in this place." Han Shui said slowly. However, after listening to this, Li Bai looked expressionless, stared at Han Shui and said slowly. "If it's just for this reason, then you can die." After finishing speaking, Li Bai directly grabbed Han Shui's neck with his big hands. The latter suddenly turned red and struggled continuously. "Sir, son." Just when Han Shui was about to die, Li Bai slowly let go of Han Shui, who immediately protected his neck with both hands and kept coughing and breathing. At that moment, she really felt like she was about to die, no matter which way it was. I don't like it when others hide from me. This is the final warning. Li Bai said coldly. It's, young master. The reason why I was able to escape here is because my master paid the price with his own life to avoid the eyes of the controller and send me here. Immediately, Han Shui curled up like a kitten and said. Your master? What a state. Half-step creator. Anything else? Also, that is, part of the reason why I was hunted down was because I didn't want to marry the other party's young master, and part of the reason was because I unintentionally spied on their secrets. After getting the answer he wanted, the cold look on Li Bai's face slowly receded, a smile appeared, and he said gently. This has happened so long ago, why should we suffer? You are right, master, I don't dare to hide anything anymore. Han Shui's fear of Li Bai at this moment has undoubtedly magnified to an extremely terrifying level. When she heard that Li Bai was not the one in control, she thought she could hide it from the sky, but... Tell me, what's the secret? Hearing this sentence, Han Shui said with great aggrievedness. Sir, if I tell them, if they find out, I will die. Don't worry, in all the worlds, only I can control the life and death of others. Li Bai said slowly. Immediately, Han Shui whispered what happened to Li Bai's ear. After listening, Li Bai frowned. You mean, they are planning to devour these worlds of origin? Yes, sir, and this plan has already been implemented. It seems that it has swallowed up an origin world. Implemented, that place. This, I don't know, because when I heard this, I was discovered, and then I told you, I was hunted down. Han Shui shook her head and said. Then what are you going to do? Li Bai asked curiously. I don't know, I just want to return to my original state. I have no idea what the plans are going to be. Han Shui lowered her head and said silently, she didn't know her future path or how she should go. How about this, follow me. Li Bai said slowly that he felt that he must go to the end world in the future. After all, no one can interfere with his experiments. As a local, Han Shui happens to be the best guide. I do, sir. This time Han Shui agreed very neatly. After all, she was too scared to disobey Li Bai. In that case, this is for you. Immediately, Li Bai threw a black and white seed to Han Shui. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 292. Sir, what is this? Han Shui took the seed and carefully examined it, but even with her vision as a pioneer, she could not see what the seed did. Your previous path was just a low-level path, right? Yes, sir, my path is not outstanding. This seed can improve and extend your previous path, and take another new path. Li Bai said lightly. Hearing this, Han Shui was shocked. What kind of heaven-defying thing is this? She has never heard of anything that can extend the path of the pioneer. You know, the level of the pioneer directly determines the realm of a pioneer. For a pioneer like her, the highest achievement in the future is nothing more than an explorer. But with this seed, plus this road she has walked once and is very familiar with it, she will definitely be able to take a more advanced path of the pioneer in the future. This means that she may be able to break through the shackles. Sir, is this really for me? I dare not take it. Han Shui said with a trembling body. Don't worry, there are conditions. When I need you in the future, you can think of it as a deal. Boom. Han Shui knelt on both knees and said respectfully. Master, accept my disciple's greetings. Han Shui knew that the strength of the young man in front of her was absolutely unfathomable, so she just became his disciple. No need to do that, your talent is not enough to be my disciple. Li Bai said indifferently. Hearing this, Han Shui showed a bitter smile on her face. She didn't expect that one day she would be considered unqualified for talent. You know, at that time in the end world, she was also a proud girl of heaven who dominated an era. And, she broke a series of records, including the youngest emperor, myth emperor, etc. But, although you are not qualified to be my disciple, I can still give you some pointers. After a moment, Li Bai said slowly again. Thank you, young master, Han Shui will definitely listen to you. Although I can't be a disciple, it's enough to be pointed out. Then, sir, what are we going to do next? Han Shui asked doubtfully. Let's talk about it later. Ah, later. Han Shui asked uncertainly, and a blush appeared on her face. It happened so soon. She was not ready yet. At that time, her master said that it was very painful for the first time, and it would bleed. It was scary to think about it. Asterisk. Oh. What are you thinking about? Li Bai looked at Han Shui's expression, and a black line appeared on his face. He knew what Han Shui was thinking with his toes. Hee, sir, it's nothing, I will listen to you, and we will talk about it later. Okay, you go out first, and participate in the Holy Land competition tomorrow as usual. The reward this time is very good. It is a place in the Great Emperor's secret realm. You should be able to get a lot of things in it. Yeah, okay, sir. After speaking, Han Shui jumped out of Li Bai's mansion. At this moment, Fan Xin Chen passed by the mansion and saw Han Shui who had just come out. The two of them stared at each other. Degree. Han Shui, why are you here? Fan Xin Chen said in great confusion. He remembered that Han Shui's mansion was not here. Humph, it's none of your business, little brat. Han Shui said coldly, and then left the place in Fan Xingchen's confused eyes. She said, I'm a little brat. Am I small? Not small, isn't it quite big? Besides, isn't it cute if it's small? Fan Xin Chen blinked his eyes and asked himself, it's really not small, and then suddenly thought of something. This mansion seems to belong to the man in white today. Pupils shook, Fan Xin Chen seemed to think of something incredible. Bang! It seemed like the sound of a broken heart. Woo, my Han Shui. Is that young master really that big? Tonight, there is one more insomniac who has lost his love, no, to be precise, a secret admirer. At this moment, inside the mansion, Li Bai supported his chin with his right hand, thinking about what happened just now. Swallowing the rest of the origin world, they are very brave. It seems that they should have the support of the originator behind them, otherwise, they would never have the courage. Alas, I wanted to pretend quietly for a while, but now it seems that there is no time. Li Bai said frustratedly. Now he has a lot of things to do, the outer demon is one, the road to the world is also one, and the fairyland will have to deal with it 10 years later, Jushin returns. The most important thing is to destroy the spirit race and find his own memory fragments. Now, there is another bigger conspiracy. He hasn't figured out the Twilight Kingdom before. Forget it, let's do it one by one, and the most important thing is to find the memory fragments first. The next day, early morning. At this moment, the square of the Purple Forest Holy Land was already crowded. Nalan Yan and other elders had also appeared long ago. After all, Lin Vuchang had been expelled from the Holy Land. Naturally, Nalan Yan would lead the Holy Land competition this time. Damn, Xin Chen, what's wrong with you? Did you not sleep last night, or did you get too many rewards? A holy son asked in surprise when he saw Xin Chen with black eyes. Oh, don't ask, flowers have feelings but water has no feelings. I am such a failure. Fan Xin Chen said with great discomfort. Last night, he dreamed of Han Shui and others having a night of love, especially the scene he dreamed of. Wow, sir, it's so big. It's okay, you like it very much, eat it quickly, it will get cold soon. Yeah. Thinking about it, Sim Chen shed tears silently, although in the end only two people were eating big chicken legs. After about a few minutes, Nalan Yan said to everyone, "Gentlemen, let's go." Nalan Yan waved her hand, and an extremely huge flying building escaped from the void. On it, the two words Zi Lin were engraved with the means of the emperor, emitting a faint imperial power. Afterwards, all the disciples who reached the Saint Realm boarded the airship. "Come on, son of Xin Chen. Come on, Saint Han Shui. Come on, Saint Kanglan." Amid the shouts of countless disciples below, the flying tower turned into a stream of light and flew into the sky. The current Zilan Holy Land is in name only. After all, almost all the elders have entered the flying tower, and the reason why they dare to do so is naturally because of the guarding of Emperor Zilan. Through the clouds and mist, after an unknown period of time, the flying tower arrived at the Xuanhuan Holy Land. In the past Holy Land competitions, the venues were all in order. The last time was the Zilan Holy Land. Of course, the Zilan Holy Land lost miserably. Damn, this Xuanhuan Holy Land is so vast and boundless. I feel that it is many times larger than our Zilan Holy Land. Xiongda looked at the fairyland-like Xuanhuan Holy Land below and sighed. After all, it is the first Holy Land, so it is natural. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 293. After a while, Filu arrived in front of the holy gate of Xuanhuan Holy Land. The two words Xuanhuan were engraved on the huge hanging plaque. These two words were carved by Emperor Xuanhuan himself, and Xuanhuan Holy Land was the first one. With the Holy Land, the cards cannot fall behind. On the plaque, there are countless divine charms circulating, and countless divine patterns form an invisible formation. If there are any trespassers, they will be obliterated by this formation at the first time. Okay, gentlemen, we are here. Remember, this time, we must not be at the bottom again, otherwise, we will not be able to face the awakened ancestor. Nalan Yan said extremely seriously to the disciples. Yes, Holy Lord. Yes, Holy Lord. At this moment, two God King guards blocked everyone's way. Stop, who are you? Purple Forest Holy Land. Nalan Yan said lightly. Oh, it turns out you are the new Holy Master of the Purple Forest Holy Land. I really can't understand what your Emperor Zilan is thinking. Lin Vuchang, a good quasi-emperor, doesn't want to fly, but he has to ask you, the God King of Chaos, to be the Holy Master. Another kind of guard said with a sneer, his tone full of ridicule. Oh, I'm very dissatisfied with what you mean. Why don't we ask our ancestors to come and talk to you in person? Let's see what the old man thinks of you in his rebuttal. Nalan Yan said with a smile. Upon hearing these words, the two guards were stunned for a moment, their faces stiff. Just kidding, they are extremely close to the existence of the mythical emperor. Even if he kills them, he will not have any temper in Xuanhuan Holy Land. Although the Purple Forest Holy Land is currently at the bottom, they are not the little god kings who dare to question it. Nalan, Holy Lord, please come in. Please come in. Afterwards, Nalan Yan led the elders and disciples and slowly entered the Xuanhuan Holy Land. There were special escorts in charge of transporting them. Ha ha ha, Ruhua, did you see the expressions on the faces of those two god kings just now? They almost cried out of fear. Xiongda said excitedly. It's not because of you, it's all because of our ancestors. Why are you excited? If you have the ability, will you make others famous? Ruhua poured a basin of cold water on her. Humph, I'll meet you early in the morning. Soon, with the pickup and drop-off, everyone arrived at the competition venue of Xuanhuan Holy Land. At this moment, the venue is already filled with countless disciples and elders from the 5 holy places. The crowds are huge and the crowds are buzzing. Look, the people from the Purple Forest Holy Land are finally here. That one should be the new Holy Lord of the Purple Forest. I remember her name was Xuanhuan. Her talent was really evil in the last era, but for some reason, she disappeared in a certain period of time. He looks very good, and he can conquer the country, but he is too weak. He is just a chaos god king. I don't know what their Purple Forest Holy Land thinks. Afterwards, everyone in the Purple Forest Holy Land slowly sat down in their own seats. And Xuanhuan dodged and came to the hall above the sky. At this moment, in the main hall, there are 3 men and 1 woman sitting. The man headed by him has a powerful aura. There is a wisp of quasi-emperor power flowing on him, and there is also a different aura, which seems to bring the whole place to the sky. The world is trapped. This person is none other than the Holy Lord of Xuanhuan Holy Land, Ling Jun. The identities of the other 3 are also very clear. The one exuding the terrifying sword intent is the Holy Lord of the Holy Land of 10,000 Swords, Xuanfeng. Another woman, whose appearance is no worse than Xuanhuan, is dressed in a colorful fairy dress, and her whole body is filled with the fragrance of elixir, which makes people want to take a bite, as if she is a walking elixir. This woman is the saint of Shendan Section Lord, Yeyu. He is born with an elixir body, contains elixir fire, and is born with a forbidden avenue. Of course, this avenue plays an auxiliary role in the process of alchemy. The last one is Xiaohuo, the sworn enemy of Purple Forest Holy Land and the Holy Lord of Skyfire Holy Land. The 4 people, except Xiaohuo, all had a smile on their faces after seeing Xuanhuan, especially Yao Yu. After all, she and Xuanhuan have always been good friends. For this reason, Xuanhuan during the period when Lanyan was poisoned, had it not been for the life-extending elixir refined by Yao Yu, Xuanhuan would have been unable to survive. Ah, Yan'er, you're here, don't you know, every time Dabby is caught in the middle of these stinky men, it feels so uncomfortable. I feel like they want to eat me at any time. Cry. Yao Yu hurriedly stepped forward and took hold of Xuanhuan's arm, while the latter looked helpless. Okay, here I am. Xuanhuan said with a smile. By the way, Yan'er, is your injury really healed? Then Yao Yu asked slowly. Of course, can't you feel it? Who cured it? Didn't it mean that even the Xinhui Emperor was helpless? Yao Yu asked hurriedly. Hey, this is a secret. I'll tell you later. After, Yan'er, you are so bad, what are you talking about? Yao Yu blushed and said. You are thinking wrongly. I will take it for you tonight. This human-shaped elixir will definitely help you. Xuanhuan had a dark face and pretended to be intimidating. Yan'er, then, you must be gentler. Get out. Hee, Yan'er still looks so good when she's angry. Afterwards, Ling Jun and Xuanfeng also walked up to Xuanhuan and said with a smile. Yan'er, congratulations, you have finally recovered. The former demon and genius is finally coming back. Ling Jun said with a smile, without the momentum just now, as if he was Xuanhuan's brother. Ha ha ha, yes, Yan'er, you don't know how excited we are after hearing the news. Xuanfeng laughed proudly. Brother Ling Jun, brother Xuanfeng, thank you for taking care of me during this period. Xuanhuan said slowly. We are playmates who grew up together. You are like a sister in my heart. Why do you need to say this? Especially your elder brother Ling Jun, after learning that you were poisoned, he even went to a forbidden place to find the legendary immortal tree and almost didn't come back. Xuanfeng shook his head and said. What, really, Brother Ling Jun. Nalan said with red eyes. You kid, what are you talking about? Yanner is crying, you should comfort her, you know her temper. Ling Jun glared at Xuanhuan. He, isn't this happy? Brother Ling Jun, are you okay? Are you injured? Then, Nalan asked hurriedly. Don't worry, Yanner, I have a life-saving item given by the ancestor, of course I will be fine. Let's not talk about this, let's talk about you, do you know who poisoned you? Then, Ling Jun frowned and said. Well, basically, I can confirm it. Who? Who? Who, Yanner? My senior brother, Lin Vuchang, but I don't have any evidence. Nalan said with a sullen face. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 294. Damn it, I picked up my sword and chopped him down. It must be the son of a bitch. He has been jealous of you ever since you two worshipped in the Purple Forest Holy Land. It's really hateful, Yanner. Your senior brother is really not a human being. It's a pity that I have a holy elixir body, not a poisonous elixir body. Otherwise, I would have to refine the most poisonous elixir and poison him to death. Yao Yu gritted her silver teeth and said. Yanner, don't worry. As a brother, I will help you kill Lin Vuchang and crush his bones into ashes so that he will never be reincarnated again. Ling Jun said viciously, his whole body filled with murderous aura that almost materialized. It's okay, he has been expelled from the Purple Forest Holy Land. Nalan shook her head and said. The four of them have a very good relationship in private. After all, they grew up together and experienced life and death together. However, after they joined different sects, especially after they became holy masters, they had very little contact. The 5 holy places may seem peaceful, but in fact they are also turbulent secretly. Except for Xuanhuan Holy Land, which holds the first place, the other 4 holy lands all want to compete for the second place. At this moment, an inappropriate voice sounded, it was Xiaohuo. Humph, the Purple Forest Holy Land, one of the 5 great holy places, has actually appointed a Chaos God King as its holy lord. If this spreads out, what will the forces in other regions and other divine dynasties think of us? Do they think we have declined? Xiaohuo's words were full of sarcasm. Xiaohuo, what do you mean? Yao Yu's face suddenly turned gloomy. Xiaohuo, you don't care about your heavenly fire holy land, but you go to interfere with the affairs of the Purple Forest Holy Land. Are you meddling in other people's business? Xuanhuan put his hands on his chest and spoke harshly. Haha, I'm just telling the truth. The competition is about to start. You guys can chat slowly while I leave first. After Xiaohuo finished speaking, he left the palace directly. Why are you pretending? It's so unlucky. Okay, ignore her. By the way, brother Ling Jun, after this competition is over, I will introduce a big shot to you. Nalan said slowly. Big shot. How big is it? Yao Yu said with a smile. Hey, it's big. You'll know when the time comes. I'm leaving first. After Nalan finished speaking, she also left the palace directly. Hey, little girl. Okay, let's go down too, you still have to host the meeting. At this moment, in the mansion arranged by Xuanhuan Holy Land, after Li Bai finished setting up the barrier, he directly entered his inner universe and slowly took out the Taisha Tianqi stone. My dear, is this the Taisha Tianzhen stone? A clone of Li Bai looked at the stone in front of him and said doubtfully. Well, that's right. I have shared this memory with you. I believe you should also understand its function. I didn't expect that the stone tablet would appear in a holy place in the eternal lower realm. Li Bai said slowly. Thanks to Han Shui's secret, otherwise, we really don't know how to use the stone tablet. The clone said slowly. Okay, stop talking nonsense, I'll leave the stone to you. Don't worry, my lord. By the way, how is our plan going? Not too smooth. What's the obstacle? There are no obstacles in the world. The most important thing is that the disordered world is really a tough nut to crack. Hard to chew? Wouldn't it be easier to chew the bones if they were broken into powder? Li Bai said lightly. My dear, what do you mean? Contact the other clones. You can use the stone together to give them a big gift. It must be able to directly break through the laws of the disordered world. Then you can infiltrate. Damn it, isn't this a bit of a waste? I thought I was going to integrate the stone into the heavens and the world. I have my own method for the conspiracy in the end world. Let's do it first. Yes, I understand, let's go now. On the other side, in Xuanhuan Holy Land, the huge square below was already crowded with people, and roaring sounds swept across the sky. Hey, this time, there is no suspense about the first place. It must be from Xuanhuan Holy Land. Why? Huh? Don't you know that one of their saint sons in Xuanhuan Holy Land has already reached the half-step of God King? The rest are either saint kings or saint lords. How are you doing this? Holy crap, I thought this news was unreliable, but it turned out to be true. Forget it, our holy land of 10,000 swords can just strive for second place. If there are no accidents, it is estimated that the Purple Forest Holy Land will be at the bottom this time. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. Except for Xin Chen and Han Shui, the rest of the young geniuses are just a notch behind. At this moment, Ling Jun and the other 5 slowly appeared in front of everyone. Look, it's the 5 holy lords. It's finally starting. Tisk tisk, it feels a bit strange. Among the quasi-emperors, there is a chaos god king mixed in, which is a bit out of place. It's a pity for Holy Lord Nalan. It seems that in the last era, Holy Lord Nalan Yan's talent could be said to be overwhelming to the generation of geniuses. It's a pity that he was poisoned by some unknown source in the end and couldn't recover. Okay everyone, this Holy Land competition is about to begin. Please be quiet. Ling Jun's voice was not loud, but it was filled with great majesty, rushing straight into the sky, like a mighty army, and falling into the ears of everyone. It was like the thunder of heaven. All of a sudden, the scene was silent. Damn, you are so pretentious, it was clearly agreed that I would start this time. Jianfeng on the side couldn't help but complain. After hearing this, Nalan Yan and Yao Yu couldn't help but cover their mouths with smiles. Let's talk about the rules first, that is, there are no rules. Boom. This sentence directly caused a huge wave. What do you mean? Are the rules going to change? No. I feel like the rewards this time will be different. Afterwards, under the confused gazes of countless people, Ling Jun smiled and said. This time, it's a points system, and it's not people versus people, but people versus monsters. Afterwards, Ling Jun waved his hand, and in an instant, the entrance to a small world appeared in front of countless people. This small world was created by our ancestor Suo Tian, and countless monsters are fed in it. The rules are also very simple. Each holy land has 16 places. You can form a team or go alone. Earn points by killing monsters, and each monster has different points. Finally, the ranking is determined by points. Do you understand? Ling Jun said slowly. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 295. Chapter 292 Emperor Shishan, White Lotus Karmic Fire. Holy Lord Ling Jun, I don't know what the highest level of monsters in this small world is. At this time, an elder from the Holy Land asked the most core question, which is also the question that everyone is most concerned about. Don't worry about this. Each area has barriers set up by our emperor's ancestors, and the levels of monsters are also different. As long as they don't invade the God King area, it's fine. Of course, our Xuanhuan Holy Land will also give each genius a gift this time. Just crush the teleportation talisman and it will be teleported directly. Ling Jun said slowly to everyone. Hearing these words, Kanglan and the other three couldn't help but laugh loudly in their hearts, almost going numb with laughter. After all, they had no idea how many times they had fought monsters during the previous young master's trial, especially Xiong Da. In the end, with his physical body, he was able to fight even a monster in the God King realm with just 2 moves, let alone Kanglan who had passed the level. It can be said that this competition is simply tailor-made for the 3 of them. Hey, senior sister, do you think we cheated in advance? Could it be that young master has already guessed that this competition is about killing monster beasts, so he gave us that kind of trial? Young master, you are truly a god. Hush, don't say anything. Our biggest enemies are those in the Sky-Fire Holy Land. Don't forget the hatred between our 2 families. Kanglan said softly. Upon hearing these words, Xiong Dahe's flowery eyes darkened, because in the last competition, Heavenly Fire Holy Land killed all 8 of their Purple Forest Holy Land's geniuses. And in every previous session, some geniuses would fall into the hands of the Heavenly Fire Holy Land, so this is a feud. Do you still have any questions? At this moment, a holy son from Heavenly Fire Holy Land said with a smile. Holy Lord Ling Jun, I want to know, apart from killing monsters, is it possible to steal other people's points? As soon as these words came out, the eyes of all the geniuses suddenly froze. If this was really the case, it would be much crueler. Congratulations, you answered correctly. According to the rules, you can indeed plunder other people's points, regardless of life or death. Of course, if the other party uses the teleportation talisman, the points will go directly to you, the plunderer. Ling Jun said with a smile. Sure enough, after hearing these words, when the disciples of the Heavenly Fire Holy Land looked at the disciples of the Purple Forest Holy Land, their eyes were full of teasing, as if they could already manipulate everyone in the Purple Forest Holy Land at will, and as if to say, your points are ours. It's decided. Damn it, what do they look like in their eyes? Do they feel like they've convinced us? Grandma, I'm a big bear, I have to beat the shit out of their heads today. Xiong's big eyes were filled with anger. Even Fan Xing Chen, who had always been gentle and elegant, now had murderous intent in his eyes. The reason why they asked this question was to target the Purple Forest Holy Land. Ling Jun, are you sure that your disciples from Xuanhuan Holy Land have not entered the secret realm in advance? A sudden voice sounded. This person was Xiao Huo, who had returned to the Sky-Fire Holy Land at some unknown time. Of course, I swear on my life that all the geniuses participating in our Xuanhuan Holy Land this year have never entered the secret realm. Xiao Huo, do you have any questions? Since you said so, it won't help me to refute it, so let's get started. Xiao Huo said impatiently. Okay everyone, I believe you have heard this time. There are a total of 16 places, one more than before. As for why there is one more place, maybe you will know when you enter the secret realm and reach the end. Okay, the competition has officially begun. Ling Jun said with a smile. Boom. As Ling Jun finished speaking, the disciples from the 5 holy lands rushed into the entrance of the small world. After all, anyone could kill the low-level monster first. Soon, all the participating geniuses entered the small world. Due to randomness, the landing points of the 5 holy places are different, which means that even people in the same holy place may not be together. On the other side, on the sky dome in the center of the square, an extremely huge screen appeared, showing exactly what the small world looked like. Hundreds of millions of miles of mountains stretch across the continent, full of spiritual energy. Countless divine patterns are constantly flowing on the sky. Mountains towering into the sky one after another plunge into the earth, with all kinds of birds and beasts, and rare monsters. Generally speaking, there is not much difference from the landforms around the 5 holy lands. The only difference is that there are too many monsters here. There are not only monsters from the eternal upper world, but also many talents from all heavens and realms. Some monsters, such as the Dragon Clan and the Phoenix Clan in the Immortal realm. Damn it, look, the dragon is a dragon, but its bloodline is a bit impure. I never expected that Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan could actually get monsters from the Immortal realm. He is really powerful. I heard that the bodies of the Dragon Clan in the Immortal realm are among the best in all the worlds. I wonder who is stronger or weaker than our Hercules in the Eternal Upper Realm. Haha, we'll find out when we wait for the road to all realms. Then, this huge screen split into countless small screens, in which each team appeared, including a 1-person team, a 3-person team, and a maximum of 6 people. However, now everyone's eyes are attracted by a young man. On the screen, this young man has a sharp face, black hair, eyebrows like ink painting, a white brocade robe, and countless white lotuses around him. There is an indescribable spirit in his eyes. His realm has reached the half-step God King. This person is the Holy Son of Xuanhuan Holy Land, Emperor Xuanhuan. He is known as the most evil genius of this generation, not only because of his strongest body and eternal divine body, but also because when he was still a saint, he realized the forbidden avenue of the Buddha kingdom, the White Lotus Karma fire. It's Emperor Xuanhuan, my god, his power is too terrifying, it feels like he is not from the same era as the other geniuses. There is no way, his talent is too evil, he has comprehended the forbidden avenue at the Saint Venerable realm, this talent is rare even in the upper realm spirit race. However, after a while, everyone slowly discovered a special place, that is, the top disciples of the 5 holy places are all alone, such as Emperor Xuanhuan, Xin Chen, and others. At this moment, in the small world. Damn, senior sister, why are there only 3 of us, where are the others, are they separated? Xiangda looked at the empty surroundings blankly. It seems that it should be randomness. Forget it, don't worry about it, for now we can only trust them. Kanglin said with a frown. I have to say, the concentration of spiritual energy here is really high. And, this should be the teleportation talisman, right? Ruhua spread out her hands, a piece of talisman paper, engraved with thousands of runes, with fairy light flashing and charm flowing. Almost, this should be the teleportation talisman mentioned by the Holy Lord Lingjun. Kanglin nodded and said. In that case, senior sister, let's go to the depths of the mountains. There should be more monsters there. We can use these monsters to test our strength. Okay. Kanglin nodded, and then the 3 of them went to the depths of the mountains. After seeing Kanglin and the other 2 heading deep into the mountains, Yao Yu couldn't help but wonder. Yan'er, your 3 disciples are too brave. You know, the deeper the mountains, the higher the level of the monsters, and the chance of encountering a saint-level monster is also very high. I see these 3 little guys, one is at the peak of the Saint King, and the other 2 are just ordinary Saint Kings. Will they be in danger? Hearing this, Nalan Yan smiled and said. Don't worry, how can I not understand their strength? Believe me, I will definitely surprise you. However, at this moment, exclamations and whistles spread across the sky. This Emperor Xuanhuan is so perverted. As expected of a half-step God King, he solved a black demon ape at the peak of Saint Venerable with just one move. Yes, you should know that the flesh of the black demon ape at the Saint Venerable level cannot be hurt by an ordinary half-step God King, but Emperor Xuanhuan solved it with just one move. At this moment, the big screen was still replaying the scene of Emperor Shishan killing the black demon ape. I saw a divine ape hundreds of feet tall, with black hair all over its body, exuding a faint breath, and its dark pupils were full of terrifying murderous intent. This divine ape was staring at the tiny Emperor Shishan in front of it, as if he wanted to swallow him in one bite and taste his flesh and blood. Then, the picture flashed, Emperor Shishan lightly raised his right hand, with an elegant movement, and a white lotus fire directly covered the divine ape. In an instant, an extremely miserable howl resounded through the sky, and dozens of Tianjiao heard this howl. And this white lotus fire was like a maggot attached to the bone. No matter how the black demon ape struggled, it was useless and finally turned into a pile of ashes. This Emperor Shishan is really powerful. He is several times more powerful than us back then. Ling Jun, your Suotian Holy Land really has a good saint son. I envy you so much. Jianfeng sighed when he saw this scene. Shishan is really good, but he is far from enough. Compared with our Suotian immortal emperor, we are still a little bit behind at the same age. Ling Jun shook his head and said slowly. Okay, stop pretending. Although he can't catch up with Suotian immortal emperor, he is far better than you and me. If you don't want it, give it to our Shendan sect. Yao Yu said unhappily with his hands on his chest. He, that won't work. Ling Jun said with a smile. On the other side, Kanglin and the others had already walked deep into the mountains. The atmosphere here was far different from the outside, full of bloody smells. Big sister, it's strange, why didn't we encounter any monsters? Is it because my Xiongda's kingly aura is too strong? Kingly aura? I think it's the aura of a turtle. Besides, even if you have it, it should be the aura of a bear. Ruhua said immediately. Roar. However, at this moment, the giant trees that covered the sky and the sun suddenly trembled, and endless green leaves formed a green storm that swept over. At this moment, these green leaves were no longer soft leaves, but more like a piece of magic weapon. After being swept by the storm for a while, the surrounding giant trees were all covered with blue medicine, and the cut surface was extremely smooth. Xiongda, you crow mouth, aren't you here? Ruhua rolled her eyes at Xiongda. Coincidence, it's all coincidence, let me do it. Xuanhuan collision. After Xiongda finished speaking, he gathered all his momentum and punched the green storm directly. In an instant, a golden basalt shadow directly dispersed the green storm. Ouch! Immediately afterwards, a scream came, and a huge fluttered moth slowly appeared. Its 4 pairs of wings were dark green, and even its giant pupils were dark green. Damn it, I just jumped the moth, but I still got such a huge moth. Xiongda said in shock. What a moth, I have a name. This is Ghost Butterfly, who is born to master the Ghost Avenue and the Wind Avenue. Ruhua patted the big bear's brain. Sister, who is coming? Senior sister, let me go first. It just so happens that the avenue I master is also wind. Well, Ruhua, be careful. Don't worry, senior sister, if I can't even deal with the Saint King's moth, I won't be able to see the young master. Look, you said it was just a moth. Xiongda said aggrievedly from the side. Shut up. Shut up. Immediately, Xiongda and Kanglan slowly retreated, leaving the battlefield to Ruhua. When Ghost Butterfly saw that the opponent only sent one person, he was instantly furious. Wasn't he looking down on Ben and throwing a moth away? Whoosh whoosh. The next second, the wings vibrated, and wind blades struck Ruhua with a harsh whistling sound. Snort. Little trash. Ruhua snorted coldly. After training in that secret realm, she now killed this moth with no effort. The way of the strong wind. Thousand winds crazy blade. Ruhua let out a sweet cry, and suddenly the wind surged behind her, and the trees with only half of them left were uprooted. In an instant, Tens of thousands of crazy blades formed a large formation that destroyed everything, directly disintegrating the ghost butterfly's moves completely. Seeing this, Ghost Butterfly immediately used his second talent, Ghost, which to put it bluntly is similar to invisibility. Invisible? Sorry, my 9-turn exquisite physique can't defeat you. After Ruhua finished speaking, she immediately stimulated her physique, and then, a strange power disappeared directly into Ruhua's eyes. The next second, Ruhua immediately saw the invisible ghost butterfly. Got you. Ruhua said with a smile, commanding tens of thousands of wind blades to continuously cut at the ghost butterfly. Finally, after a minute, the ghost butterfly couldn't hold on any longer and fell heavily to the ground, completely covered with skin. Ruhua, awesome. Xiongda said excitedly. Haha, I have met ghost butterflies in the secret realm, so I have experience. Ruhua said shyly. Ouch. 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 The next moment, there were several wolf howls again. It seems that the noise we made has attracted a few more wild wolves. Kanglan said lightly. The next second, countless giant trees collapsed, leaving a mess, and then 5 moon-howling wolves rushed from the depths of the mountains to the 3 of them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 296. The dark green eyes of these 5 moon-howling wolves were filled with bloodthirsty expressions, and then these 5 moon-howling wolves directly devoured the corpse of the ghost butterfly. Violence burst into the sky, and after a while, the eyes of the 5 moon-screaming wolves all looked at Kanglan and the others, their pupils filled with cruel and playful expressions. Hey, senior sister, leave it to me this time, see if I don't blow them up. Xiongda's eyes flashed with excitement, as if he had seen prey. The howling moon wolf was stunned for a moment after seeing the look in Xiong's big eyes. Omega Omega. Shouldn't these 3 humans be the prey? Okay, these 5 moon-roaring wolves are not at a high level, you can handle them enough. Kanglan nodded, and then he and Ruhua obediently retreated to the rear. Hee, come on, 5 beasts, let your Uncle Xiong eat some meat today. Xiongda was crying, a violent and cruel look flashed in his eyes. Looking at Xiongda's expression, the 5 moon-howling wolves naturally felt provoked. Then, the cerebellum shrank and rushed directly towards Xiongda. Prison-suppressing king body. Xiong shouted angrily, directly stimulating his own physique. His physique is the prison-suppressing king body, which is the most powerful physique. It is the prototype of the prison-suppressing divine body and will have the opportunity to evolve into a real prison-suppressing divine body in the future. Boom. Then, Xiongda's body began to rise continuously, until it was close to 4 or 5 meters before slowly stopping. At this moment, Xiongda's body was engraved with prison-suppressing god patterns, and his eyes turned blood red. It exudes an extremely terrifying power from hell, as if it can suppress everything in hell. Boom. Xiongda dodged, faced a giant wolf, and punched out. Ouch. Screams rang out, and the moon-howling wolf spit out a huge amount of blood and fell heavily to the ground. It was unclear whether it was alive or dead. Then, seeing this, the other 4 giant wolves rushed towards Xiongda together, and relying on their flexible bodies, they managed to avoid several of Xiongda's fatal moves. The sharp and cold wolf claws scratched the bear's back. In an instant, it was like the sound of steel colliding, and sparks flew everywhere. Taking this opportunity, a giant wolf opened its bloody mouth and bit Xiongda's arm. It was still the same, as if it had bitten on divine gold, and several wolf teeth flew away. And this giant wolf's eyes showed confusion, and he didn't understand why the human in front of him was so hard. I didn't expect that your Uncle Xiong's body is not covered by anything. Otherwise, why would you be able to resist even 1.5 moves against a monster in the realm of the God King? Xiong laughed and said, his words full of sarcasm. Okay, Xiongda, let's deal with it quickly. The points for this kind of monster are too few. It only adds up to 12 points. I looked at the rankings. That guy Dishishin has 60 pairs, and he is far ahead. Kanglan urged. Damn it, over 60, he must be cheating. Xiongda said in shock, and then punched a giant wolf. A moment later, all 5 giant wolves were smashed to death by Xiongda. You must know that this is just the power of the physical body. Of course, the most powerful Xiongda is also the physical power. Tisk, Yanur, these disciples of yours are indeed terrifying. It feels like they have the strength to leapfrog and fight. Yao Yu looked at Xiongda on the screen and said with envy. That's right, a 9-turn exquisite body and a prison-suppressing king body. You know, these two are the prototypes of the most powerful physique. Jianfeng also said with an envious look. It's okay, Xiao Kanglan's talent is terrifying. Nalan Yan said slowly. Yeah, I'm going to take a closer look at that moment. At this moment, basically all teams have a certain amount of points, but most of them have 5 or 6 points. Except for those top geniuses who have tens of points, only Dishishin, who has a perverted number of points, is far ahead, and he is the best. Leave the others far behind. Ha ha ha, our star son has finally reached 20 points. Awesome. It's strange. Logically speaking, Saint Han Shui should be about the same. How come the points haven't changed and there's no image yet? Perhaps there is some interference. The disciples of the Purple Forest Holy Land were discussing in full swing. TCH, you're only 20 points, you're so excited. Our great Holy Son of Heavenly Fire Holy Land has already exceeded 40 points and is ranked 2nd. What do you have to brag about? At this time, the disciples from the Heavenly Fire Holy Land couldn't help but ridicule. I don't mind your own business, dogs and mice are meddling in other people's business. God, I really can't stand the way they look like villains. God, please hang yourself quickly and kill these guys. Damn it, so perverted, but I like it. Hey, it's easier for them. The Heavenly Fire Holy Land couldn't help but blush when they heard these vulgar words. It was obvious that they were not as good as the Purple Forest Holy Land in this aspect, and they were far behind. A bunch of little bastards. A female disciple racked her brains and could only think of such vicious words. Eldest sister, are you being cute? It's not you who scolded me like this. I'm here to teach you. Just stand still and listen. I'll hum you. 10 minutes later. Brother, I have been scolding you for more than 10 minutes, and the scolding is so unpleasant that I can hardly stand it anymore. A disciple from the Purple Forest Holy Land covered his face and said. Humph, I can keep scolding you for a whole day and night without repeating myself. Yes, 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 if you are not born, you will be scolded for eternity. At this moment, the female disciple of the Holy Land of Heavenly Fire couldn't help crying after listening to the abuse for more than 10 minutes. You are looking for death. Dare to bully our little junior sister. What, I'm afraid of you if I fight you. The situation is getting more and more serious. Fortunately, the elders of both sides stopped it in time, otherwise, they would probably really fight. On the other side, in the secret realm, Han Shui wandered aimlessly alone. To be honest, she didn't want to participate in this secret realm. It was boring. As a former pioneer, of course she would think that these things were just playing house. It's better to stay with the young master. The young master is big and fierce, and can also teach her a lot of different knowledge. It's wonderful. Ahem, what are you thinking about? At this time, a faint voice came from behind Han Shui. Ah, young master. How did you get in? And you came in so smoothly and quietly that I didn't even notice it? Han Shui turned her head and saw Li Bai appear behind her without her knowing when. Well, there's something in this secret place. I came in to explore it and meet the Emperor Shishan by the way. Li Bai straightened his face and said slowly. Emperor Shishan? Is he the holy son of Suotian Holy Land? Han Shui said doubtfully. That's right. He is indeed a monster, but it's not necessary for the young master to come and see it in person, right? Han Shui asked curiously. She is the reincarnation of the emperor just like you. Li Bai said lightly. Start, Invincible, met the empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 297. What, the emperor reincarnated, why didn't I see it? Sir, what kind of emperor is he? Han Shui asked in surprise. A great emperor of the Buddhist kingdom, but he is not a pure Buddhist. Half of the blood in his body belongs to the fairy clan. The fairy clan? I seem to have heard of this race. Aren't they a race from the outside world? Han Shui thought for a while and said slowly. That's right. Moreover, his realm during his lifetime may have been higher than yours. If nothing else happens, he will even be on the list of eternal emperors in the outside world. Li Bai glanced at Han Shui and said. The eternal emperor ranking is so fierce, so it's like that, no wonder I didn't see it. Han Shui suddenly realized that when she was promoted to the great emperor, she was only a little short of being promoted to the eternal emperor ranking of the end realm. Then, young master, let's go together. It just so happens that I'm bored too. If you hadn't asked me to participate in this competition, I wouldn't have wanted to come. It's so boring. Han Shui held Li Bai's arm and said coquettishly. Haha, don't underestimate this small world. Huh? Young master, in a world created by the Supreme, could it be possible that there are still secrets? Who told you that it was created by the Supreme Being? Ah, this. Let's go, you'll know when the time comes. Hey, good sir. Afterwards, the two of them went directly into the deepest part of the mountain range. Along the way, Han Shui was not idle and killed all the monsters. Afterwards, Han Shui's points rose rapidly like a rocket, and he soon reached second place, only 5 or 6 points away from Emperor Shishan. Holy shit, what's going on? This Han Shui is cheating. Why did her points rise so fast? Han Shui? I seem to have some impression that she is a saint from the Purple Forest Holy Land. She is very cold. It is said that she has a body of 10,000 years of black ice and a heart of black ice, but she only appears very rarely. Quick, 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 where is the image? Why didn't it come out? Soon, this scene was also seen by Ling Jun and others. Holy crap, Yan'er, what's going on with your Han Shui? Could it be that he killed a God King monster? Otherwise, how could the points be accumulated so quickly? Jianfeng said with wide eyes. I'm not too sure either. Brother Ling Jun, quickly, bring up this person's picture. No, I tried it, and it seemed like I was being cut off. Ling Jun frowned and said seriously. It was cut off by someone. Could it be Han Shui who did it? How is it possible that a saint can cut off the connection with the small world of a supreme creation? Yao Yu widened her beautiful eyes and said in shock. Although I don't want to admit it, it is indeed cut off, and as a quasi-emperor, I can't even see through the source of this power, unless we, the immortal emperor, use the rules of the small world to take action. Ling Jun shook his head and said. Brother Ling Jun, is it really not possible? What if something happens to Han Shui? At this time, Nalan Yan on the side said slowly. Well, just wait until I contact my ancestors. Ling Jun said after a moment of silence. Okay. 10 minutes later, Ling Jun opened his eyes and said with a smile. Okay, our ancestors have agreed, and they will appear soon. However, after waiting for more than 10 minutes, Han Shui still did not appear. What happened? I don't know either. Ling Jun's expression became even more strange. At this moment, in the small world. Hey, sir, I just felt it. There was a supreme aura that wanted to peek at us, but I cut it off several times. Han Shui said immediately. Oh, if I guessed correctly, it should be the remaining soul of immortal Emperor Xuanhuan in this holy land of Xuanhuan. Li Bai said slowly. Oh, that's not right. This immortal Emperor Xuanhuan can definitely use the rules of this small world to spy on us, could it be? Immediately, Han Shui's eyes looked at Li Bai. You're right, he didn't create this small world. The creatures who created this small world have a very high level, even so high that you can't even imagine it. Li Bai pretended to be mysterious and then said nothing. Sir, you are really good at whetting people's appetites. What's the difference between this and you just trying to get in? Han Shui pouted her red lips and said unhappily. Do you want to listen to what you are talking about? You're a girl, and you were once a pioneer. Can you be more civilized? Li Bai said helplessly. Humph, I don't want it. On the other side, somewhere in the eternal upper realm, an old man with childish face and white hair suddenly opened his eyes, and the supreme aura burst out. Then, the old man's face showed confusion and a trace of surprise. It's interesting, it's really interesting. A holy girl can actually cut off my prying eyes. Zilan, you little guy, you are still hiding deep enough. Haha, it seems that the upper world is no longer peaceful for all eternity. After finishing speaking, the old man closed his eyes again, as if this incident had never happened. On the other side, Han Shui and Li Bai had already come to the depths of a mountain range. They felt as if they had passed through a barrier and then appeared in an extremely huge palace. Wow, I didn't expect there would be a palace here. After looking at it for a while, Han Shui suddenly widened her eyes with a look of horror. Damn, this palace is actually carved with a complete Emperor Gold Divine Mark stone. It's too damn luxurious. Also, there is such a large Emperor Gold Divine Mark stone. How many Emperor soldiers can be made with this? I'm afraid even Chaos soldiers can be made with dozens of them. Han Shui's beautiful eyes were full of shock. You know, such a large Emperor Gold Divine Mark stone is unheard of even in the End Realm, a place rich in weapon forging veins. This is nothing, there are even rarer things inside. Li Bai had a calm face. Xiaoxiu, open the connection with the outside world. Oh, okay, sir. Then, Han Shui directly let the Supreme Breath spy on herself. Outside world. Just when Ling Jun and others were still puzzled, a screen kept flashing, and then, the figures of Han Shui and Li Bai slowly appeared. Saint Han Shui appeared. Look, she appeared, wow, so beautiful, so cold peerless woman. Damn, a bit of world-weary face, I like it the most. Jailer. The peak realm of Saint Venerable is indeed powerful, but how did she plunder so many points in such a short time? Hee, maybe it's good luck, I encountered a few dying Saint Venerable peak monsters. After a while, a sharp-eyed creature found that there was another figure beside Han Shui, passing by. There is someone beside her. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 298. Damn, it looks like there's really someone out there. Look quickly, a white figure flashes past. Are there other disciples in the Purple Forest Holy Land with Han Shui? After Nalan Yan saw the shadow flashing across the screen, she couldn't help but be a little confused. It's strange, why do you look so much like a young master? Then, another thing suddenly occurred to me. Yeyu on the side had very sensitive ears and immediately caught the word master. Master? Yanur, who are you talking about? It's nothing, you will know in a minute. Then, the screen flashed again, and then the figures of Li Bai and Han Shui appeared again. Holy shit, let me just say, there is someone else, so handsome. Wow, he is so handsome. He is even more handsome than the holy son of Emperor Shishan. Holy Lord, this man in white is actually a holy lord. The disciples of the Purple Forest Holy Land were a little confused. Isn't this the young master who had a long talk with the ancestor of the Purple Forest that day? Holy crap, this isn't. Sir, how did you get in? Have no idea. Yanner, what's going on? Yao Yu asked impatiently, while her eyes were filled with a look like an nymphomaniac. This, I can't explain it yet. Ling Jun, there are a total of 16 places, why is there one more in the Purple Forest Holy Land? Xiao Huo below questioned. Are you questioning this holy master? Ling Jun glanced sideways at Xiao Huo. Certainly. I'm sorry, holy master Xiao Huo, this is also our disciple. You also know that one of the 16 places this time will definitely be admitted temporarily. Then, Nalan Yan said slowly. A moment later, shocked sounds echoed in the square again. Where are they? It seems to be in a palace. I didn't expect that there is a palace in this small world. And after the picture reaches this point, it disappears. Damn, what's going on? Why did you disappear again? Suotian Holy Land, what happened? Can it be done? At this time, Ling Jun slowly said to everyone. I'm sorry everyone, our ancestor just sent me a message, the picture of the two of them cannot be released. As soon as they heard the sentence, countless people immediately expressed their dissatisfaction, and the people who danced most happily were those from the Heavenly Fire Holy Land. Why, do you have some shady deal? That's right, a shady story, a complete shady story. How about I ask our ancestor to tell you personally? Ling Jun said with a gloomy face. Hearing these words, those people from the Heavenly Fire Holy Land felt as if they were being stabbed by ons or had a lump in their throats. They all suppressed their faces and did not dare to say another word. The emperor must not be humiliated or suspicious. Even if the emperor is really wrong, it's not the turn of ants like them to question it. Who in the world does not know the power of immortal Emperor Suotian, especially after his recent promotion to Supreme? It is even more terrifying. Ling Jun obviously didn't want to change the story, so he directly burst out with the power of the quasi-emperor and said in a deep voice. I'm asking you a question. Answer this, holy master. In an instant, some of the countless people in the Heavenly Fire Holy Land turned pale, their bodies were crumbling, and they spit out a mouthful of blood. Another group, the disciples with lower realms, were frightened and fainted. Ling Jun, what do you mean? A moment later, another quasi-emperor's power offset Ling Jun's power, allowing everyone in the Sky-Fire Holy Land to breathe. Xiao Huo, take care of your Heavenly Fire Holy Land. How can we, the Sovereign Holy Land, be questioned by ants like you? One more time and you don't have to leave. Ling Jun's tone was calm, but it contained an extremely chilling meaning. You. Shut up. Okay, Suotian Holy Land, you are very good. The cold and resentful look in Xiao Huo's eyes was like a poisonous snake in the dark, but he also knew that the Heavenly Fire Holy Land was far inferior to the Suotian Holy Land. Just one Suotian immortal emperor could make them breathless, let alone others. There are two great emperors. At this moment, in the small world, the prodigies of the five holy lands couldn't help but feel puzzled when they saw Han Shui, whose points had soared in the rankings. Han Shui, what's going on? Did you find a monster lair? It's not impossible. Never mind this, instruct our people from the Skyfire Holy Land to plunder the people from the Purple Forest Holy Land immediately when their points reach a certain level. Holy Son, if we use the Tongian stone, does it violate the rules? Haha, did you say anything about the rules? No. That's okay, just do it. Yes, Holy Son. On the other side, Kanglan and the others are increasing their points as they deepen their divine veins. Senior sister, look, Saint Han Shui's score is already very close to that of Emperor Shishan, only a few points different. Xiongda screamed, and Ruhua, who was fighting on the other side, was so frightened that he was almost scratched by a monster. Big stupid bear, you are looking for death, you scared me to death. Ruhua cursed angrily. Sorry, I got excited. It seems that senior sister Han Shui has also hidden her strength. I know it, but I still wonder why senior sister Han Shui's points haven't increased. Kanglan said thoughtfully. We have to speed up the progress, otherwise, we will be left far behind. Okay, senior sister. Fan Xin Chen, who had just killed a Saint Venerable Peak monster, was sweating all over, and finally had scars on his body. Huh, it is worthy of being a Saint Venerable Peak monster, it is really thick-skinned, my sword is almost rolled. Xin Chen said with a heavy breath. Hee, but this monster should be able to increase a lot of points. After saying that, Xin Chen opened the leaderboard, and a few seconds later. Han Shui, you are cheating. Han Shui? I am curious. Emperor Shishan murmured after killing a Saint Venerable Peak monster. This speed must be the monster that killed the half-step God King. I didn't expect that such a small eternal lower realm would have such a genius. Emperor Shishan said slowly after thinking for a while. Forget it, let's go to the palace first. According to the words, this should be the world created by the ancient immortal. There must be the corpse or blood of the ancient immortal. I must get it. Hee, you wait for me, I will definitely kill back. In the eyes of Emperor Shishan, there flashed a trace of murderous intent against the heaven, and at the same time, there was a trace of indelible hatred. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 299. At this moment, in the palace of the small world, Li Bai and Han Shui passed through many obstacles. Of course, there were many monsters among them, but they were all solved by Han Shui with one move. Then, the two came to a long and narrow corridor. Inside the corridor, there were endless obscure runes engraved on it. Even Han Shui, a former pioneer, couldn't understand it. Sir, why can't I understand these runes at all? My brain is almost on fire. Han Shui stared at these runes and frowned. It's normal that you can't understand it, because this is the language of the rune world. Li Bai said lightly. Rune world. I think I've heard of it. It's also an origin world. It seems to be quite big, but it's too mysterious. There are very few records about them. Han Shui said slowly after thinking for a while. It's normal. Because the rune world is destroyed, everything will naturally be wiped out. Destroyed? Han Shui said in surprise. Guess. With your ice and snow intelligence, you should be able to guess something. Li Bai looked at Han Shui and said with a smile. Humph, young master, do you think too highly of me? I am just a small pioneer. I have only explored 1% of the final world, let alone this rune world. Han Shui said weakly, as if she was begging in frustration. It's very simple. The rune world is too powerful, so powerful that it makes some existences feel afraid. Li Bai recalled some things and said slowly. Very powerful, master. How powerful can the rune realm be? Can it be as powerful as you? To put it simply, even if you add the terminal realm, all the worlds, and the disorder realm, it is half as big as the rune realm. Damn it, you are so strong, young master, you don't think I am young, just lie to me. Han Shui looked shocked at first, and then looked suspicious. How could someone so powerful be destroyed? Of course, this is what I'm talking about. The real situation may be less than a quarter. But, if it was so powerful, why was it still destroyed? Han Shui was doubtful. It's very simple, because it's too powerful, so powerful that Origin feels the slightest threat. Hearing the word Origin, Han Shui's head exploded with a bang, as if he heard the most explosive word. Origin, Origin. Sir, are you talking about the originator? Han Shui said, covering her chest in fear. The originator is the originator, and the origin is the origin. The two are not the same thing. The origin is far more terrifying than the originator. After all, the originator's realm is named after them. Besides, there were once 5 or 6 originators in the rune world. Li Bai said slowly. On the other hand, Han Shui's face turned pale. These things had a great impact on her, especially because the origin and the originator turned out to be different things. Then, young master, when did the rune world perish? Han Shui asked eagerly. At this moment, she was crazy about knowing these secrets. I remember, it should be the Battle of Origin. Li Bai said casually. Hearing these words, Han Shui almost choked. The Battle of Origin is known as the most brutal, powerful, and darkest battle. I didn't expect that you actually knew. Li Bai said lightly. Well, I once heard the ancestor of our Han family say it. Yes, the rune world was destroyed in that battle. That battle was too tragic to be described. Li Bai said slowly. Sir, could it be that you also participated in the Battle of Origin? Han Shui couldn't help but tremble when she looked at Li Bai's body. I'm one of the initiators, what do you think? Li Bai looked at Han Shui and said with a smile. Boom. This time, Han Shui's soul was directly shattered. That's right, just one sentence shattered the soul of a forerunner. Then, Han Shui's eyes lost their luster, turned into grey, and fell directly to the ground. Oops, forget it, this incident must have had a huge impact on her. Li Bai slapped his forehead, then waved his hand and directly used the supreme secret method to repair Han Shui's soul. By the way, the memory of that period was erased. Hey, sir, what's wrong with me? I'm lying on the ground. Han Shui stood up slowly and said doubtfully. Nothing, you just said there was an ant on the ground, but you stepped on it and fell unconscious. Oh. Sir, you really don't know how to lie. Han Shui said confusedly. Let's not talk about this anymore, let's take a look at these runes. Li Bai changed the topic. Sir, since you know that this is a rune from the rune world, you must know what it means, right? Han Shui didn't think too much. If Li Bai really wanted to kill herself, there was no need to do so. Put it all together, this is one sentence. What words? The runes are immortal and all worlds are in ruins. In the name of my ancient immortal, I will seal them. I will destroy the hatred of my origin. Li Bai slowly said the meaning of these runes. Guxian? Why have I never heard of it? It's such a strange name. This is the name of the native creatures in the rune world. After they become mythical emperors, they are collectively called ancient immortals. Okay, don't worry, let's go on. Yes. Then, Han Shui followed Li Bai and began to walk towards the end of the long and narrow corridor. The further to the end, the more runes were engraved. Not only that, there were many murals, which depicted many creatures that Han Shui had never seen before. Finally, the two came to a giant bronze door. The giant door exuded the smell of ancient vicissitudes and decay. Sir, do we really want to go in? Han Shui swallowed her saliva and said slowly. What, are you scared? Yeah, Diodiu. Okay, as long as I'm here, you're nothing to be afraid of. Crunch. Li Bai slowly opened the giant door. What comes into view is an extremely empty bronze palace. In the center of the palace is a bronze coffin, surrounded by more than a dozen candles, giving off a green light. Why is there a coffin here? Sir, I'm scared. Han Shui said, hiding behind Li Bai. Stop acting like a baby. Just as Han Shui finished speaking, the runes on the dome of the bronze palace seemed to come alive, constantly flowing, and then a phantom of a creature with 4 arms appeared in front of them. Who broke into the palace without permission? The living shadow stared at Li Bai and Han Shui and said slowly. At the same time, this living shadow was filled with an extremely terrifying aura. Han Shui could be sure that this aura was far superior to the Supreme. You are not the master, please leave. After observing Li Bai for a moment, Shui Ying said unceremoniously. Interesting, rune creature, were you created by your master to guard the tomb? Li Bai said slowly. Hearing these words, the eyes of the phantom creature suddenly trembled. They didn't expect that the ant-like young man in front of them could actually see him at a glance. Who are you? The creature phantom asked cautiously. Answer my question first. Die. After hearing this, the phantom of this creature was wrapped in runes, and then its 4 arms directly blasted towards Li Bai and Han Shui. Han Shui was so frightened that she fainted because it was so terrifying. She felt that this punch could penetrate the end world. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 300. Why bother? Li Bai sighed softly, pointed his right hands together as swords, and drew out the sword. In an instant, the phantom of the living being was directly killed. A few seconds later, the runes on the dome of the hall circulated again, and the phantom of the creature appeared again. This time, this creature was trembling all over, and its eyes were full of fear, like a child being bullied. Who are you? This power cannot be possessed by the little holy lord. It is countless times more powerful than its master. Who are you? Could it be that you destroyed the rune world? Before the creature finished speaking, he was interrupted impatiently by Li Bai. How can this thing be so powerful? Stop making blind guesses. Let me ask you, your master is a creature from the rune world, and his name is Wandering Ancient Immortal. Am I right? Li Bai said impatiently. You, how do you know, who are you? Answer me first, right or wrong. Yes, you guessed it right. My master's name is indeed Wandering Ancient Immortal. Wandering is my master's real name. No wonder, this palace has an aura that I am very familiar with. Li Bai nodded and said. So, my lord, who exactly are you? This living creature kept asking this question. He was so curious about Li Bai's identity. Well, Wandering and I are considered friends. I saved him when we were in the rune world. Li Bai frowned and said. What, you saved my master? Suddenly, this living creature seemed to have thought of something, and said tremblingly. Sir, is your name Li Bai? Li Bai nodded after hearing this. Boom. After receiving the affirmative answer, this living creature knelt directly in front of Li Bai and said with tears. Sir, I've finally waited for you. Whoa, I've been waiting for countless epochs. What do you mean, tell me in detail. Li Bai said doubtfully. Sir, my master created me when he died, and together we created this small world. I remember when the rune world was destroyed, didn't Wandering escape? Li Bai said slowly. Yes, sir, the master told me that you saved him at that time. In this case, with his realm, even after so many long epochs, it is impossible for him to fall, unless, they are looking for the remaining remnants. Li Bai looked at this phantom with focused eyes. Yes, sir, you guessed it right, but that battle also caused great damage to them. Only some controllers, masters, and other creatures were sent out. My master, of course, did not escape their pursuit, but he also gained a glimmer of hope. At the moment of death, he finally used his supreme power to refine the inner universe and sent it to unknown areas, including part of the master's body. After hearing all this, Li Bai nodded silently, and then asked, "Then why do you say you have been waiting for me for countless epochs?" "Because it was my master who asked me to wait here. After he created me, he implanted this part of his memory into me, and told me that no one except the master and you is allowed to approach the bronze coffin. Unless someone else carries another corpse. Another point is that only you can save the rune world." The creature's shadow looked at Li Bai and said with great respect, "Haha, I don't have a close relationship with your master. Why is he so sure that I will save the rune world? This is of no benefit to me. Instead, it is a thankless task." Li Bai said with a smile. "This, sir, to be honest, I don't know why. The master only said that when you open the bronze coffin, he will definitely agree." After saying that, the phantom of the creature made way for Li Bai. "It's interesting, let me see it." After finishing speaking, Li Bai walked to the center of the palace and slowly opened the bronze coffin. In an instant, the incomparably ancient and vicissitudes of life emanated from it. Suddenly, the entire small world, millions of miles of mountains and rivers were turbulent, the immortal energy was vast and misty, and the divine light shone. Countless runes are constantly emerging in the sky. These runes are either murderous, or gentle as water, or, the power of densely packed weird runes fills the entire small world, but without exception, these runes are obscure and difficult to understand, and have never been seen by the world. This scene was naturally seen by countless creatures. What's going on? How come there are so many runes in this small world? I don't know. Didn't I say that this small world was created by Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan? I've never heard of it. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan masters the way of runes. With the emergence of this power, all the monsters fell into a violent state. Some of them suddenly increased their realm after absorbing the power of runes. On the other side, Emperor Shishan also saw all this, and instantly had a bad premonition. No, did someone enter the palace first? Impossible, absolutely impossible. I remember from the record that it was impossible to pass unless someone entered with a corpse. It should just be a coincidence. After saying this, Emperor Shishan fearfully took out a finger, a dried finger, but it was just a dried finger, but it exuded a terrifying aura, and even if it was supreme, it could not be stopped. It is hard to imagine what realm the owner of this finger was in his lifetime. However, even if Emperor Shishan had this finger, it would be useless. After all, he could not find the entrance to the palace. In that passage, it is clearly said that it is deep in this mountain range. Why is there no intersection? Emperor Shishan frowned. If he could not obtain the inheritance, how could he avenge his revenge? At the right time, the finger in his hand exuded a long light, and then the environment around him changed directly, and he came to the palace. This is the palace in the record. I finally came in. Emperor Shishan began to slowly look around everything, and after a long time, he sighed. What a great hand, what a great hand, it was carved from a complete and huge piece of Emperor Gold Divine Pattern Stone. This emperor is getting more and more curious about the identity of the owner of this finger. Afterwards, Emperor Shishan began to slowly explore the palace, but the more he explored, the tighter his brows frowned. Because he found the corpses of countless monsters, and their blood was still warm. The strength of most of these monsters is only at the God King level, which is not too high. With Emperor Shishan's current strength, he can naturally kill them. No, this is not a monster, it is a rune, and it will change according to the strength of the person entering. Someone has really been here. A monster at the God King level, which means that the other party is at least a half-step God King, or the peak of the Saint Venerable. No, I have to find the inheritance as soon as possible, and the bronze coffin. After that, Emperor Shishan began to speed up his pace. He would never allow others to get those things.